What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is June 4th, 2023, Sunday, about 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry again for the late edition. It'll probably be 6 or 7 before I get this one up. It's just been a long week, been a long weekend. I got in late. I had to get some sleep. So, what happened this week? The week went by pretty quick. As always, the first link below will take you over to the Patreon post. Let us assess the damage. Let's see. New variants of human, whatever that word is, surged in Spain post-COVID, highlighting the evolution and impact. This is a virus that acts very much on the respiratory system. Put a link to this. We got a virus you've never heard of. Infected record number of Americans this year. Could explain why you kept testing negative for COVID and the flu, because it has all the same symptoms. Put a link to that. What else we got? Ophthalmologist now ethically obligated to denounce something I can't say, as 20,000 new eye disorders are reported. That from global research. Maybe that's what happened to Jamie Foxx, is reportedly blinded and partially paralyzed after coerced into the thing. That from Natural News. Unfollow the Science, 300 COVID articles pulled, many over lack of ethical standards. This is from PJ Media. And for the YouTube censorship staff, if you come down here and click these links, they are citing the actual data. Other news, USPS worker has 19 people die on her route in the past 4 months. She's got a video on this. I wish you wouldn't have done that in uniform. I fear for your job. I'll put a link to that. Politico says White House set to tap Obama veteran Mandy Cohen to lead the CDC. Another Obama clown coming in. Put a link to that. Bill Gates, he's excited by the positive momentum of the Global Health Emergency Corps last week. It's critical that countries continue to lead to don't let their guard down and join effort to build strong global network to help prevent and contain pandemic threats. Well, you would know, wouldn't you? Put a link to that. Other news, DeSantis tells Fox and Friends he will destroy leftism in America, leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history. I do think things need to be done to stop targeting children. However, we need to be careful how we word things because it sounds a little Hitler-esque. Let's not go in that direction. Put a link to that. What is she doing here? Diane Frankenstein is confused over Kamala Harris presiding over Senate. What is she doing here? Put a link to that. Joe Biden news this week. White House refuses to address the fact that today the majority of Americans believe President himself is corrupt.
So what do you say to the majority of Americans who believe that the President is himself corrupt?
Joe Biden himself this week falling down on the stage at the grad ceremony, blames on a sandbag. I got sandbagged. Now listen to the crowd. They tend to go crazy as it falls down. He later bumped his head as if he was getting off Marine One. I don't have a video on that, but it's out there. Over to financial news. How major U.S. stock indexes fared on the Friday. 6-2. Looks like the Dow Jones was up 701 points on Friday. For the week, the Dow was up 669. A lot of this due to the fact that the Senate sends debt ceiling legislation to the president's desk. I think he signed it yesterday. I'll put a link to this. Yes, we're saved, I think, until the year 2024 or 2025, something like that. There's going to be no debt ceiling. It's all going to be suspended. What else is new? Payrolls rise by 339,000 in May. March, much better than expected in labor market. The link to the CBC. Americans estimate the average family of 4 needs a minimum of $85,000 annual income to get by. Well, house payments are going up, don't you know? Put a link to that, not to mention the cost of food and everything else. Student loans and debt ceiling deal leave millions facing nightmare scenario. Oh no, what happened to the student loan? Senate votes to overturn Biden's student loan forgiveness program. Here the Democrats voted with the Republicans. That from the Gateway Pundit. Other news, Amazon to pay $30 million in FTC settlements over Ring and Alexa privacy violations. Yes, apparently the Ring doorbells and the Alexas, they're all watching you and listening to you when they shouldn't be. And we told you all this years ago. Well, here it's all coming about, and they're still going to continue spying on you and whatnot. I'll put a link to this. Purdue family protected from, of course they are, the pharma family protected from lawsuits in exchange for addiction treatment to funding. Here, we created the problem of addiction, now we're going to give you the treatment to it. From PBS NewsHour. Isn't it crazy how this works? Kohl's faces shopper uproar after becoming the latest retailer to market LGBTQ clothing to children. Disgusting. There was some pictures here. Oh, there it is right there. Yes, Happy Pride and all this stuff, and it's Pride Month. We're going to see this crap all month, aren't we? Put a link to that. MSNBC pundit boycotting Target says economic terrorism. It's economic terrorism if people boycott Target. It's just shopper's choice, in my opinion. No, indeed. They're all crying about it. Arby's sued after manager found dead in the freezer. Remember the strange and bizarre news a few weeks back about the body that was found in the Arby's freezer? Apparently it was the manager. She came in early to open the store, got locked in the freezer. Apparently something wrong with the lock. Apparently the family is suing Arby's over that. And I got one at the bottom. State Farm halts home insurance sales in California. You can't buy home insurance in California anymore because of all the fires and all of the tornadoes and all the flooding. And I think they were the only one that actually offer insurance, weren't they? So I guess now if you want to live in California, do so at your own risk. Over to New World Order Police Day News, where I stopped and asked you to please share the report. There's a lot of important stuff coming up. Outrageous. Children's choir stopped mid-performance while singing the national anthem at U.S. Capitol. Capitol Police claims it's a form of demonstration. Yeah, they got a video here. If you scroll down, they're singing the national anthem. The Capitol Police come over and say, you got to knock that off because we consider this a protest. This is where we are in America in 2023. Dallas schools districts install AI surveillance to monitor student behavior from the New American. Well, what could go wrong there? Put a link to that. U.S. court bars student from wearing two genders shirt. You can't wear a shirt that says there's only two genders. That's just not allowed. That from RT. We got this here. Apparently a 15-year-old girl was raped in a bathroom by a boy in a dress.
Was raped. She was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes. And the Loudoun County School Board covered it up
wherever that is,
because it would have interfered with their...
This is what's going on across America. Universal Studios to host All Ages Pride Night featuring drag shows, photo ops with children's characters. Yes, I got a lot of this week. I know people don't want to hear about this stuff, but I'm not going to ignore it. Vegas Pride Festival to feature proud and kiki acts next to Kids Zone, sponsored by MGM, Caesars, Bud Light, Jack Daniels. Put a link to that. Over at Disney, we got a man dressed in a man in a dress with a mustache, and this is
selections for the day.
Kohl's. I got another one on Kohl's here selling transgender-themed clothing, 3-month-old babies. Put a link to that. We got families say they're leaving Missouri after legislation threatening trans youth passes. Well, bye. Put a link to that from KMOV, local media. Up in Canada, we got Trudeau saying this.
It's scary to see what's happening in the United States. Whether it's to us LGBTQI plus rights that are constantly being attacked. My government will never let it happen. My government will always stand up unequipped.
I don't think anyone's under attack. If by attack you mean we want to stop, 6-month-old babies from being sexually mutated and whatnot. Other New World Order Police Day news: boy speaks out after being shot by police. Suit says he was shot without warning. This is the 11-year-old that was shot by the police. The family's bringing a $5 million lawsuit against the department. They'll probably win if you look into the specifics. And one locally here, couldn't have possibly been me. Ferguson man says he had nothing to do with carjacking. Apparently an iPhone or iPad or something was found in this guy's yard. Whoever carjacked his car threw it out the window. It landed in his yard, and they executed a search warrant on his home. And he was sleeping in his truck over here because he had to go to work and whatnot. I'll put a link to this. Over to World War III news. Check this out. Let's start off with AI. AI could pose risk of extinction akin to nuclear war and pandemics, experts say. AI could pose risk of extinction. Put a link to that from CBS News. USAF official says he misspoke about AI drone killing human. Yes, apparently. Oh, now he misspoke. The story has changed. Apparently they had this simulated test where AI disagreed with the human was telling the AI he wasn't doing something right, and the AI decided to blow up the communications tower where the orders were coming from. The AI apparently turned on the humans. I guess the story has changed now. Anyway, Skynet, anyone? Putin confirmed strike on Ukrainian military intelligence headquarters. That from RT. We got drones hit Moscow, shocking Russian capital after new missile attack on Kyiv. Pulling that from the Washington Post. Russian lawmaker threatens missile strikes on Alaska as Senator Lindsey Graham appears to praise U.S. dollars sent to killing Russians. Speaking of that, we got Biden administration announces additional... Now, imagine this as we have an unlimited debt ceiling, apparently. Biden administration announces additional security assistance to Ukraine May 31, 2023. Another $300 million, this and that, to include all of this stuff here. On the American taxpayer dime, you don't mind, do you? Let's see. Putin will give nuclear weapons to anyone who joins the Union State. That's from Yahoo News. We got suspected Russian-trained spy whale reappears off of Sweden's coast. A Russian spy whale off Sweden's coast. And you wonder why I root for the shark when I see a shark has attacked a human in the ocean. Sick what we're doing. Biden warns Uganda may face sanctions if anti-gay law not repealed. Apparently the people of Uganda disagree. Ugandan students from 13 universities to take to the streets protest Joe Biden in front of the parliament. and sing "We Don't Want Your Pro-Gay Money." Right on. Shout out to people of Uganda. In victory speech, Erdogan criticizes the opposition for being pro-LGBTQ. So he criticizes the opposition for being pro. Okay. Put a link to that. I got one at the bottom. Pentagon leaders canceled drag show at a Nevada Air Force base. Apparently a drag show was going to go down, but people got wind of it and said, this is not a good use of taxpayer money. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. They got the earthquake set up for 6 points and above for the past week. Has there been no 6 points in the past week? Let me go 2 weeks. 27, this is all at the end of May. I guess we haven't had any 6 points plus in the past week. I don't know. I'll put a link to this. Drop down to 5. We've got a lot of 5s going on around the world. I'll put a link to the earthquake data. Apparently, it's a very calm week in the earth. China has mysteriously started digging 10,000-meter hole. What are they digging for? I don't know. Put a link to that. I don't know if it's earthquake related or not. 8 people rescued after a partial apartment building collapse. This is what's going on in Davenport, Iowa, with this huge apartment building that apparently just collapsed right in the middle. I'll put a link to this. There's outrage that has been sparked. Apparently 2 people are still unaccounted for, and they're talking about demolishing the building without going back in and searching for these people. The community is upset and in an uproar. Here's a video report on that this building needs to be more thoroughly searched. John Kerry says U.S. farmers must radically transform food production to meet net zero emissions by 2030. He's going after the farmers again. Apparently 200,000 cows are being culled in order to meet climate change targets. This is from News Talk. I don't know the source, but we've seen this before. This is from May 2023. New article. Earth, if we want to clean something up, why don't we clean up our waterways? Earth is really quite sick now. Danger zone, nearly all economical. Look at this. Oh, here's a report out of India. They want to use flesh-eating turtles to rid the river of decomposing bodies. This is just if you want to see something that'll gross you out, here's a 7-minute report about the river over there and all the stuff going on with it. Other news going on, it was 11 straight hours of pure hell. New video shows moment waves hit Carnival cruise ship during a storm. Passengers describe fearing for their lives. There's video down here. Apparently the storm hit this cruise ship out of nowhere and just made a mess of everything. They got video that everything's been toppled over and flooded. Put a link to that. We got an Italian and Israeli agents among 4 dead as boat capsizes. Lake Major, this is over in France, I believe. I wonder what the story is behind that. Put a link to it. I got another article here on the State Farm halts insurance sales in California. It goes into a little bit more of why they made decisions and why you're just out of luck if you live in California. And I got one at the bottom. I thought it was kind of funny. Climate activist Storm Dancing with the Stars final in Sweden yesterday. Didn't end well for him. You got to watch for the camera to come out of the left here. Watch this. Shout out to the camera. There you go. Yeah, get out of here. We're trying to do something here. Over to strange and bizarre news. All kinds of madness is going on. 3 dead, 5 injured as biker gang shootout at
Mexico. Police say
Red River,
3
New Mexico.
people were killed and 5 others hurt during a shootout between 2 biker gangs at the 40.
I don't mess with no biker gangs. 9 people shot down in Florida, including one 1-year-old child after confrontation near Hollywood, Florida. Apparently there's been a mass shooting on the beach down in Florida. Just craziness everywhere. This is the shootout that happened on the bus. Dramatic footage shows shootout between bus driver and passenger. The driver has been fired for defending his life. I think that's bullshit. I'll put a link to that. We got craziness on the train. Look at this. TikTok, who steals old people's dogs for kicks, hijacked a train. Let's see what they got going on here.
Hey, how'd you get there? Hey, let me get in here.
They saw these people with guns and look, check it out.
You outside! Hey, everybody,
GTA real life. This is where our society is now. New video shows panic aboard a boat in the Bahamas moments after Louisiana star baseball player 18 jumped off on a dare. Jumped off the ship on a dare. His body was lost to the sea. They dared him to jump off, and he jumped off, and found out that the ocean's nothing to play with. There's madness going on up the air. California flight delayed as drunk passenger refuses to leave the plane when asked.
I didn't do shit.
She didn't do shit.
You're doing it now, though.
People are upset.
So now everybody gonna suffer.
No, that's
Because somebody, one person
Everybody gonna suffer.
So now what's up?
No, listen, you out your motherfucking mind.
Craziness on the plane. We got pilot. Oh, look at this guy. Now. Watch this. This is crazy.
And new tonight, the Schuylerville man accused of harassing and stalking a local woman by flying his plane low over the village, arrested this morning for violating an order of protection. That order was instated.
This man violated a restraining order with an airplane, flying his plane around the lady's house, nose diving it, almost hitting her house. Man accused of stealing police car. Again, a police car was stolen.
Police arrest a Milwaukee man accused of stealing a police car.
And this isn't the first time he's done it.
He's done it before. That's your squad.
So your squad?
I love his reaction.
What the That's your squad.
Yeah.
12 News obtained video showing the moment a man took off in a police squad car in Shorewood last night, leaving officers
what's the name of the movie? The
12 News
Hangover?
reporter Nick
You
Ward
stole a
live
police
there
car. Apparently he has a fetish for stealing police cars. Let's see. Driver goes airborne. Oh, did you see the car that hit the tow truck?
Absolutely wild video out of Georgia. A driver hit a tow truck's flatbed that happened to be down at the time, and when it did, the car went flying through the air. This happened.
I guess he maybe didn't see it. Maybe the ramp was down and didn't see the lights. It's understandable. Let's see. Utah PTA parent orders 7 pride flags for planted in the yard of a mother who objected to LGBTQ lessons for her young kids. So she said, better be watched doing that because people will get homicidal. The Glamour magazine, check it out. This is painted on, apparently, a pregnant man. I don't know how this works. Maybe this person can explain it. I got one more here. Check it out.
So I recently told my parents that I may be a little bit romantically interested in women. And that was a big shock for them, considering the past 10 years of coming out as gay, then queer, then non-binary, then trans. And I think it was just a bit of a shock. So I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. And I said, oh, no, she would be getting me. So
Yeah, I don't understand either. I'll put a link to that. For all the news, please check my favorite videos. The Patriot Nurse has got a great one. Sam F. has got a great one. Mark Dice, we got the tow truck ramp jump right there. Timcast, thank you to everybody continuing to put out videos. All kinds of fresh news of my favorites. Definitely check it out. I got a few shout outs and then we're going to get out of here. Shout out to the FPV Drone, acceleration to 200 kilometers per hour in 1 second. That's like over 100 miles an hour in 1 second. Check this thing out. Watch this. Crazy. Yeah, shout out to that drone. Shout out to Old Man Strength.
Looks like we have another badass here trying to bully an old man with a slap. And it appears the old man, corn-fed Fred, has had enough of this bullshit and now laying down the friggin' smackdown, some ground and pound action to his face, now turning his face into beef stroganoff. You can see his soul start to leave his body, but his Windows operating system is about to boot back up after that beatdown. Almost looks like he was going to rob this old man, and the old man said, you know what, season's beatings, asshole, and now he is done. After corn-fed Fred...
Put a link to it. And if you want something more mellow, how about 2 minutes of Raccoon pool party? Very mellow video here, just raccoons enjoying the family pool. And they are too. They're not stuck. I mean, they got opportunity to get. He gets over to the steps and decides he's turning around. He wants to stay in the water.
That's a first.
They're just chilling. Raccoon pool party. Shout out to them. I'll put a link to that. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, guys. If you'd like to report, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you think it sucked, it's the worst you've ever seen. You never want to see again. Please rate, though. It helps move around. You can also support me on Patreon or directly with DonorBox. I put a lot of these reports. Follow me on all my links below. The BitChute, the Gab, the Rumbles, the Facebooks, the Twitters, all the links are at the bottom. What's going on? I don't know. This week went by so quick, I don't know what's going on. What's going on next week? Apparently, we got the debt ceiling figured out. So, it's June. I'm looking for Operation Blackjack around the 21st, as always. Maybe not. I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on the World War III stuff. The virus stuff still pretty much at a lull. The vaccination stuff still pretty much at a lull. We'll see how it goes through the summer. I hope you guys are doing well, though. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes on a Sunday. Again, sorry for the late report. It's been a long week. I got in late. I had to get some sleep. I woke up late. So I'll get it done. I'll get it out this morning. You guys take care. Stay safe. I love you very much. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes on Sunday while I give you the news. I will see you on the next one.